D. It's me 5 at the door. All right. All right, you're good. You go inside. Good morning, everyone. I have Dakota here from TV Cop. This is really, really wild because when you reached out to me, you had said you saw us or that you also play. Did you say you play with Early Girl as well?
Yeah, I play with Early Girl and Gunk Long as well.
Okay, so we played together.
Yes.
And that was like this wonderful moment where I was like, okay, cool. You live in my hometown and you like, this is your other band that you're in. So like, first of all, what the fuck is up? It's nice to fucking meet you.
Yeah.
And like re-meet you basically. And just full circles all around. Tell me about TV Cop. I would love to hear more about it.
Yeah, so we've been a band since like 2017. Like putting stuff out since 2019. We're from Southern Iowa, so I didn't always live in Iowa City. When we started, I was in Ottumwa. So
that makes sense. That's what's that, like 2 hours south?
Yeah, like an hour 45.
Oh, cool,
yeah.
cool.
So yeah, just a power pop band. It's kind of like Leonard Skinner-y, but Weezer-y too, you know. So
I mean, the stuff that you sent me, there's like a little bit of Cheap Trick in it. Like there's like,
right, yeah.
There's like, I think the song that you sent me is called Flirting with Disaster. I was like, okay, this is like an early 80s rock band moment.
Oh yeah, that's like a Molly Hatchet cover that we did for that split.
Oh, okay, cool. That's fucking sick. I've never heard that song before, so like I feel a little called out, which is kind of nice. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know.
Oh no, I should have specified when I sent that. Yeah, the split that we're on is 2 originals and a cover from all 4 bands.
Oh, that's fucking cool. So let's actually talk a little bit about that split. How did you and what bands are involved with it, and how did you all get together to kind of decide to do this?
Yeah, so we're all Bloated Cat bands. We're all on the label Bloated Cat. It's Heavy Leg from New York, Teenage Bigfoot from Philadelphia, and Sekunderna from Umeå, Sweden.
Incredible.
Right, yeah. We all went on tour together and did a run out to New York City when we played Bloated Saturday out there. So it was our first time out that way. Sekunderna's first time like as a band in America. It was great, yeah. So then just through that, it all kind of like, let's do a split.
Oh, so that's cool because it's like you guys get to kind of harken back to the time you spent on the road together, which is really, really fun. Was there any reason why you wanted to add the cover into the split for each band as well?
That was all Servo from Bloated Cat, yeah.
Okay, that's fucking killer.
Brainchild, yeah.
What made you choose the Molly Hatchet song?
I figured that since we're like the Southern Iowa band, you know, we're like the Midwest guys, I should pick something that's like really ripping and like Southern-ish, yeah, to make us a little stick out a bit.
I think it makes sense. Like of all the songs that you sent me, it's really, really nice break of like all of the songs. It's almost like this interesting palate cleanser because everything else that y'all are doing, y'all have such a like, there is like a little Blink, a little Weezer, like y'all are doing like this really, really cool, really fast power pop stuff. It's been really nice to listen to. I haven't listened to this stuff like this. And I mean, with everything that's been coming out DIY wise, everything's just been kind of like twinkly guitars and like a lot of screaming. And it's been a lot. It's been a little, y'all are basically a breath of fresh air for me.
Cool.
It's been really, really nice. So I'm glad to like, possibly play a song of yours. So I think that everyone will be really, really happy to hear something a little bit different from everyone. And I'm glad that you reached out because you being, well, first of all, going from Ottumwa to Iowa City, literally my hometown. You've been in Iowa City for how long now?
5 years.
Um, what do you think about music in Iowa? Like specifically Iowa City, but like in Iowa in general, I find it to be really like all over the fucking place. Like it's everything. And I've talked about it on the podcast before. Like the first show that I ever went to in Iowa City was I went to a noise show. Like in Iowa City, Iowa City
Yeah.
noise scene was like huge.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of maybe still is. I'm not sure. I haven't lived there in like 10 years, but there's something about the music in Iowa City that I find to be eclectic and fun and weird at all times. So like, what do you think about like music in Iowa?
Yeah. In Iowa City specifically, it's always been one of those things where you can find what you want for the most part, you know?
Mhm.
So there is still the noise stuff. There's a lot of hardcore going on. Um, and then there's like a few power pop bands because like Lipstick Homicide
Love
and,
them.
and Early Girl also is power pop. Yeah, it's interesting because there is something that you can do every weekend that's music related.
I know, first of all, I know I've kind of grew up with one of the members of Lipstick Homicide. So hearing that name, we actually did a battle of the bands when I was in high school with their first band.
Hmm.
Before I was in a band called the Fedoras.
Okay.
It was not great. It was not great. I was like 17 and I was just like, I just want to make uh basically the used, and like that was
Hmm.
it, and it was not very very fun. But that, they've all been in a band for close to 15 years doing
Yeah.
that shit. They're
Hmm.
so cool. Are you is I remember there was they're not a friend, but I've been following them for a while. A band named Blind Equation played a show in Iowa City, and that was the first time I kind of thought about music back. This was even before we played there. Um, Iowa City, there's something just special that everyone is so welcoming of every
Hmm.
scene. It's so cool if even if you're just playing at like there's like a bakery or something like that like lets you do hardcore shows inside of it or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was always there doing stuff. You could
Hmm.
always go to Gabe's. There's always house shows are pretty rampant.
Yeah.
It's you'll never kill it. It's kind of beautiful that way. Do y'all do a lot of house shows in Iowa City?
Um, no, we don't play Iowa City as much as we used to.
Hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of house venues. We've hit a couple of them. We played PS1 recently.
Awesome. That place is fucking sick.
Well, it moved over to like a big mansion across
What?
from Mosley's. You remember Mosley's barbecue?
Okay. Yeah,
So it's
wow.
in that big historical house on the corner of like Gilbert and oh shit, across from up from the Trumpet Blossom. You can see Trumpet Blossom from the
Okay, cool.
porch.
Trumpet Blossom is what I was thinking of, where they do a bunch of weirdo shows there as well.
Yeah, the vegan restaurant. Yeah, it's
Yes.
fucking awesome there. Yeah, they always have I mean, we're playing there with Gunklung and Early Girl in bottom bracket on the 10th of
Let's
December.
fucking go. First things first, you're playing in 3 bands that night.
Oh, TV Cop's not playing that night, but yeah, I am
Oh, okay,
playing
cool, cool,
two
cool,
bands
cool.
that night. Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool. That's
I
right.
double
So
duty like quite often, honestly.
we almost were Eskimo brothers on when it comes to playing with bottom bracket. They had reached out to
Hmm.
us to play in Nashville, and we were like, no, we kind of want to go see you guys.
Yeah.
We don't want to have to worry about that. We just want to come hang out. And we got our friend's boy clothes on that. But that's so cool. Like how interesting the scene can be when it comes to like, I'm glad that they're smart enough to stop in Iowa City. I think they're probably on their way back to Chicago. So is it going to be at Trumpet Blossom?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, cool. That is kind of the space. Like PS1 is awesome. Trumpet Blossom, I feel like is a little bit more like, um, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
And but we have a couple places like that here in Nashville. Gabe's is still like the number. I mean, that was such a bucket list place to like grow up and go to shows there and then be able to play that.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
that's just like it's so old and it's so like I don't know. It feels iconic in a way. I think I saw My Chem played there, like
Yeah,
in the
like
early 2000s.
2004.
Yeah, like something
Yeah.
crazy. Like it's just been around for so long. My dad told me that he went to go see Superchunk there in the 90s,
Yeah,
which was
we
really
literally
weird.
just participated in a video that was for like interviewing for their 50th anniversary.
Shut up! That's so
Yeah.
sick.
They've been doing shows there for fucking ever. And it was like used to be a wood paneling and shit. It was like real old school like cowboy bar,
Dude, that's what I love about Iowa City is there's a bunch of the shit like that that's just like as much as there's like so much new stuff and so much good
Mhm.
stuff and some bad stuff when it comes to the new stuff,
For sure.
the old stuff is still good.
Yeah,
Like
and
that's
I
what I love
love that
about
you
it.
reuse those buildings like over and over and over again for
Over and
shit.
over again.
So
It's so sick. I love that Midwest sentimentality that also embraces so much new stuff. Like
mm,
whenever I talk about Iowa City, I always, I like talking about the noise show stuff. But I always like saying like, there's a small band called Murder by Death. Murder by Death used to play like a New Year's Eve show there like every year for some reason.
right.
It was like the weirdest thing. Like everyone would like, hey, you're going to Murder by Death on New Year's, right? Oh, duh. That's just what we all did like for 3 years in a row. But it was just there's a bunch of just really, really good stuff. I can't stop talking about how important Iowa City is. Strangely, for like the way I would say Iowa City is for touring is how everyone looks at Trumpet Blossom into the Iowa City. Iowa City is the Trumpet Blossom of like the United States. Where like you
Yeah.
can probably stop, you can have not a problem at all stopping and playing a show in Iowa City. You'll find a place. You just need to know a couple of people and you'll be fine.
Yeah, dude. Through us touring, like TV Cop touring, I mean, we meet so many people who have played in Iowa City or played Gabe's or Picador when it was, the Picador and shit like that. So, and that's how I meet other bands to talk to when we're touring is them coming through here. Like some of the bands you had on your show, I was like flipping through and I was like, oh yeah, like we play with Troubled Minds, we know.
Yeah.
And then dude did sound for us when we played in Phoenix.
That's fucking awesome. That guy's the best. Let's kind of talk about TV Cop. Let's when you started this in 2017, was the vibe like trying to do like a harken back to this Blink-182 kind of thing? Is this like something that y'all just been wanting to do?
No. So it started like just as a bunch of us that worked at a pizza place. Like we were just gonna play covers and just like not even go out and do anything. Just like, we all get off of work at like 3 a.m. Let's go to the house and like smoke some
Jam.
weed, fucking play the Strokes songs for no reason,
Yeah, I get it.
So yeah, that just turned into me being like, I have some songs,
Yeah.
that we could
Are you the principal songwriter?
do. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hell yeah.
So then I like just started pushing us into playing shows. And then before you know it, we got like 5 songs, 6 songs, putting out a EP, putting out an album. We've been through like a lot of little changes. The bass player and I are the only original ones.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we've had like a lot of people in and out, just like helping us and touring with us or just playing shows. So it's like a little collective, but it's 4 people right now for like solid. Yeah.
So there's this band, and I think about this all the time. I think it's a band called Handguns.
Yeah, we just played with them like in September or something.
Okay, so I'm gonna connect everything. So there's the band called Handguns. There's also, have you ever heard of the Ship of Theseus?
Uh-uh.
So I'm pretty sure it's Theseus. It's a Greek like thing where the concept is like, hey, there's this ship and it's broken. And over the course of time, you keep replacing parts of the ship. And after you've replaced every part of it, is it still the same ship?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, and that going back to Handguns is still a band, but none of the original members are in the band.
Right.
And so like I've been wondering, and I'm glad that I get a chance to ask somebody this. Now that you've had replaced some members and you've been doing this for close to 7 years, what keeps the band kind of moving forward? Where do you see the band being in like 5 years? And what kind of keeps you grounded, like wanting to do TV Cop even more?
Well, so we want to keep doing it because it's kind of been like an uphill battle for a lot of times, finding people, especially living in areas where sure there might be a lot of people that own guitars, but how many of those people can play them in small towns, So it's always been this ebb and flow of, oh, we're fucked or we're doing pretty good, So in 5 years, I would like to still be on the road and doing it more often than we, are now, like 2 or 3 runs a year. Be nice to still be doing that. Progress is all the time for us. I think that this year specifically has been our best year. Like even from summer tour to fall tour, summer we had a couple shows that nobody was at, which is touring. But in the fall, we had no empty shows. So that's pretty good for me. And it suffices the other guys as well,
I love that.
We've been playing for so long, I've been playing music for 20 years. We were in other bands, this lineup, like me, Tyler Price, the bass player, and Lucas Clark that does the vocals, like backup vocals with me. We've been in bands together since 2008, 7, 8.
I spent all of my 20s, all of them, every single one of them, kind of not wanting to put my foot out there and like do music because first of all, it's scary. And also, I don't like not knowing when something like the concept of college, it's got an end date. You can kind of guess. Jobs, you can kind of guess an end date. Bands freak me out in certain ways because I've talked to a lot of them, and there's something really fascinating about blindly pushing forward.
Right.
And there's like, I'm not sure if it's like an addiction or is there something about how fun it is actually on the road. Maybe that's like the secret behind the thing about like why I'm doing this podcast is to find out like, why is everyone doing this crazy fucking thing? Why is everyone keep doing this? Because it's financially fully fucking irresponsible. It's not mentally, it's very stressful. Because booking, everything is playing in ahead. Everything is this and this, and that you're always looking. Like I was talking to Corey from Free Throw, and he was telling me that his whole next year was planned. And I'm like, that's an existential fucking crisis because you're telling me that I can't be spontaneous about anything.
Right.
That's so crazy to me. So like, what is like the thing like deep down, that root cause analysis of like, why are you still doing it? What is it? Is it just like the thrill? Is it the road? What do you think it is?
Well, I mean, I still feel like I'm getting better. I also spent a majority of my 20s not doing anything. Like we played in bands, but I did not know what I wanted out of playing guitar,
Sure.
Like it was this thing that I was like doing or playing metal. Then I started like playing in country cover bands when I was like 18. And it was like, what does keep me going? But at that point I didn't know. But now that we were like, we're going on the road, playing different places, going places that we wouldn't have been outside of like writing these songs,
Yeah.
It's just like builds confidence all the time. I feel like I'm getting better. I feel like I'm like in my peak of writing, and I definitely at like 22 wasn't in the same mind space that I am at 32.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I just feel like every time we go out, I come back more confident and a different person. And
Yeah, I think it's maybe it's the shedding thing. I feel like we went out on the road twice, and you come back like different. And I think
yeah,
that maybe that's what the obsession is like, how many times can I shed this husk of
right. Yeah.
myself? And like, where is it? And like, let's just keep seeing where I'm getting at. What
Hmm.
is this final version of myself? Because I feel like touring and even just being involved in music in general is like you're constantly ripping off the old husk of yourself to find out whatever is underneath.
Yeah.
And maybe that is like the final evolution is like, or maybe it's the forever evolution. Maybe there isn't like an end goal. Maybe that's the whole fucking point. Where it's just how many new versions do I get to show everybody?
Hmm.
There's something really fascinating about that. Like I didn't start doing this until like you're 32.
Hmm.
I started writing stuff for 95 when I was 33. Uh,
Okay.
and that's when I started. This whole thing was a fucking dare from my wife. And it was COVID, and I was like, okay, cool. I'll just be one of those COVID bands. And then
Hmm.
it's just completely different now. It's just not even like whatever I'm doing is just not even the same as when this thing started, whatever this thing is.
Right.
So you've been doing this for so much longer. And you seem so comfortable with everything. This seems like, so do you see yourself like, let's say you got the career, let's say you have the exact partner that you want, you found your soulmate, you have everything that you want, house, everything. Would you still find yourself on the road like every year?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm at that spot currently,
Dude, that's the
So,
fucking god. Okay, cool. What do you do for your day job?
so right now I deli slice.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like, it's not a career, but I'm fine.
Yeah,
Work with Rachel from Lipstick Homicide
awesome.
and like a couple other people from bands in the area. It's a flexible job. Am I going to be there in 6 months? No clue. Genuinely, like I don't know. you know?
I kind of love it because there's something my wife is tells me is like, when Christy, you live life like you're a skipping rock, where it's like you don't know if you're going to hit and bounce back up, and you might go
Yeah.
underwater, but I think there's something about, I don't know, it's like the thrill that maybe it's not coming or maybe it is coming, and you want to sit
Yeah.
in this moment where like I don't know what the next 6 months look like, but I'm just here doing as much now as possible.
Hmm.
It's so fascinating asking people. Like I was talking to a guy that was like 22 on this podcast, and I was like, what do you want? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? She's like, I'm still in fucking college. Like, I don't
Shit.
know. And so like, I like talking to people that are in their 30s doing this, because I feel like that there's something special about still like this pursuit, this
Yeah.
capital P pursuit of whatever this is.
Well, yeah, dude, I like would all day if you ask me like would I rather be at this point in my life right now or be like 25 on the road like fucking up, I'll take this every time.
I think so too. Yo,
Yeah.
I fucking fully agree with that. I'd rather be doing this now than I think that I would have done it in my 20s. Like I'm really happy that I waited. And like, and
Hmm.
I'm an unk. Like I'm like old guy in the scene. I'm fucking
Hmm.
36. But I'd rather be that guy because it played out because how it played out. Like that's just how it is. I think that
Yeah.
this I wouldn't have been able to make these songs until I was 33. The thing I wouldn't have been happy with it. This is I'm so impressed. I find that everyone that I'm talking to that is doing this, even well, like into their 30s, like they still have the same drive as y'all did when we were younger.
Hmm.
But it's for like more crystallized reasons. Like the reasons we're doing that are still kind of vague, but it's more about like we kind of just know that we'll never stop chasing it, and so it's this thing that we're just happy with.
Yeah, and I'm the youngest. Well, our drummer is 27,
Okay, cool.
but of the people in the band that have been in it, from Iowa, I am the youngest one. So it's
That's
like
fucking
our singer
awesome.
is 30, like Lucas is 36, TP is 40. So
Incredible.
yeah, I mean, it's just it kind of at this point it's like, why stop?
Yeah,
But also, I know that someday there will be a hanging up of whether it is just the road. Well, I mean, it will be the road eventually, but whether it
sure.
is everything, and I stop playing live, you know what I mean? But like, I won't regret anything that I'm trying to do because no matter how much I sacrifice to get this shit going,
Yeah.
it's like it always, even if there is no return, there is a return of some sort in like whether you learn something when you go out or you see a place that you've never seen, you experience so much when you tour,
Mhm.
like whether it's like good, bad, like mentally, physically, it is exhausting. But
Yeah.
like,
I think there's I always there in Calvin and Hobbes, the dad always says this thing where he's always making Calvin do hard shit, and he says it builds character. And when I was a kid, I would read that and be like, that fucking sucks. But like
yeah,
as like an older guy now, I'm like, it does. He's
it
so
does. Yeah.
fucking right. Piece of shit. You were so right.
Yeah.
And like I think that it's good to be that way. I think it's
Oh,
good to
yeah.
have as like if you suffer and you do this thing and it's for the good. It's for the good of art and music and all that stuff. And you come back like I don't know. It's like your soul is hardened in a weird way, where it's
Right.
like it's the weirdest thing. It's like my body is hardened because I just ate fast food for the last 2 weeks. I'm hungover. I need like a break from fucking alcohol and cigarettes for like the next like few days. Like whatever. There's this. It's like you come back from war, man. Like it's really
Yeah,
really
which that's
crazy.
so funny you said that because like I was gonna say I grew up in a house with my dad and my grandpa were both combat veterans.
Yeah.
And so it is kind of this thing where it's like they always talked about like pushing through this bullshit because on the other side there was like going home. And I know this is like a little bit of a cliche, but it is that thing where you're like when it starts at some point you just go, all right, well now there's no going back for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Unless something bad happens, I'm
Yeah.
not going anywhere, you
I'll
know.
never I'll never forget when this started, my wife asked me I had written a bunch of songs and I put them up on Bandcamp and I was just like whatever, and my wife was like, what are you doing it for? Like who are you doing it for? Why are you doing it? Like, and my wife and I are really introspective and we talk about everything. And that's really, really important to us is like to understand root cause analysis for like decisions that we make. And I could not explain for the life of me of like outside of like, she's like, listen, it's selfish. It's kind of bullshit that you want to do this at like 33. Like we're trying to like do our lives together. It's uh is this an attention thing or do you just need more attention? Why like and I remember like
Mhm.
being like, I don't know how to answer any of this. All I know is that it's like a magnet. I feel attraction to this thing, whatever this thing is. And whether
Mhm.
it's just the like going to shows, being on stage, doing something where I'm doing it for others and I'm also doing it for myself. Like I feel like everyone kind of has like first of all, everyone's doing it for a little bit for attention.
For
I
sure.
do I fucking do it. I love being on stage. It just feels fucking good. Uh but outside of that, there are higher causes that we are doing this for. Like
Yeah.
there is like yes, there is the obvious selfish thing. There's the obvious narcissism thing. Like it's like just a little dab here, a little dab there. But like I feel like the grander idea of just being a part of the there's something about being a part of like a lower level of this thing that I'll be fully obsessed with. I love going to local shows in Nashville and not necessarily being recognized, but where I recognize them and they recognize me and we've been going to shows together. Like there's the community that is there that is just, I'm fully obsessed with.
Yeah. And I do think that like, yeah, the attention thing for everybody is there. So is the thought in the back of your head that maybe we can make money doing this?
Yeah, no, it's just that there's this little thing. There's this little guy in the back of my head. It's like, you might make it.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe if I made some videos, but it's like,
yeah,
every band can say we're not in it for the money, but when that one show pays off with a big cut, you're like, oh shit, we're buying groceries tonight.
Yeah. It's like, hey, this Wendy's is on me tonight.
Oh yeah. Let's tip the fast food guy $40. Yeah. We can do it. I get it. Yeah, I do like going to shows. I don't go to shows as much as I used to. And with the other guys not living in the area, we just like not really social like that. We go out, none of us drink. So it is kind of like sometimes you feel like the fly on the wall where you're like sober at the show,
Totally. No, I actually, it's someone who's like taken a really huge step back from alcohol. I still drink Fernet. Fernet is like my thing. Like I'm fully obsessed with that drink. I have a tattoo of it on my leg. What I'll do is like, I'll go to a show. I'll rip a shot with my wife, but then I'm just enjoying a Diet Coke, like just the whole show. And that's been kind of nice where like, I don't feel this weird need of like, oh, I need like another beer this, another beer that. Like the party part of the scene, I think is a little bit finally boring to me, where it's like, I'm just here to like, see my friends and do this thing. It's been really, really nice. That's been a new thing for me, like the last couple months. But it's been, I think that just going to shows in general is good. Participating is good. And I think that, like even for 95, I think next year we want to go to more shows than play. I think we're like starting to do a little bit of a wind down while we're doing this other stuff because it's more important. I think that I just have more fun, like just going rather than have to worry about all the stuff that I'm taking in.
Oh yeah, for sure. It definitely helps to not go play all the shows that you're offered.
Yeah, and
being picky is better, and so sometimes you can go shoot out and just be like, hey, I'm here still.
Yeah, it's like, listen, I'll buy a shirt and I'll pay for the show, let me help out, and just like rather than like me just being in a body that didn't pay for a show that's also playing later, like let me help out. I would love to play a song that, and if you want to, you can do one of the ones that you sent me, all up to you, no pressure, but we'd be happy to premiere a song from one of y'all.
Oh yeah, Rigged is fine. Yeah, you could.
Here's Rig by TV Cop.
Why didn't anybody tell me when I was growing up that the old straight? Seems like someone should have known that everything was fucked in the world straight. Against me, from the misery. Why didn't anybody tell me when I was growing up that the world was straight? Something
Deep in. Now it seems the boom players have a date to work for. A simple glitch is threatening a new age of chaos. The second the world's computers crack over to the newest component.
That was Rick by TD Cop. Dog, I feel like we're kind of brothers now that you live here in Iowa City, and it's like my fucking hometown like thing. This is just really nice to like talk to other cool bands that are coming from there. And I think more people need to fucking go to Iowa City because that place is the best. So it was a pleasure to talking to you, and just have a wonderful rest of your night.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Thanks for having me on.
All right, cool. I'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
See ya.